Hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the 2022 Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championships. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, alongside Christine Jennings, and we're here for the FPO lead card action. And after 2 rounds, Catrina Allen out on top. She shoots an incredible 10 under, as does Ohn Scoggins and Henna Blomroos, all making their moves in round 2. But now we're at the halfway point, and Christine, still 36 holes to play.
It's moving day, and we're starting off on hole 1, par 3 at 283 feet. It's really a tricky hole 1. You have the double mando to start off, and the announcer's announcing your name. You have some nerves going on, and even though it's right there, there are a lot of things that you have to consider.
First, representing South Dakota, two-time women's world champion Catrina Allen.
Oh, and you can already see the wind blowing. You can hear it. You can see Katrina's hair blowing.
It appears to be the windiest of the 3 days that we've seen thus far.
Wow, that makes this shot really tricky. Looks like it's a straight headwind. She handles that beautifully.
I was just thinking, whatever it was, it doesn't seem to matter. Kat picking up where she left off the day before.
California, the 2022 Women's Masters World Champion and the 2022 Women's Masters U.S. Champion, Ohn Scoggins.
And Ohn has had such an incredible year. The only reason she's been somewhat overshadowed is because of the dominance we've seen from Kristen Tatar. But Ohn also having an awesome year.
Oh, sneaks through the Y tree. That'll give her a putt.
Representing Idaho, 2012 Women's World Champion Sarah Hokom.
Oh, and gets that turn, and the wind's just taking it over.
Very fortunate. We saw that kind of leak through or ultimately fight through the backside of that brush area. Henna, who came into this round after having 12 birdies in round number 2. She had a double bogey and 12 birdies. So we know they're out there. Can you collect them in the wind is the question.
Oh, and here's the gap. The disc is stable enough. Just outside of bullseye.
And not a great lie, but like I said, she's at least on the basket side, so she doesn't have to fight through, and that's going to be an easy pitch up underneath the pin, and likely a par there for Hokom to get started. Here's Ohn from about 12 meters.
Oh, didn't quite commit. Oh, Catrina gets her round going with the birdie.
And Henna with closest to the pin. Short range, little tailwind putt, and she's in for birdie as well. Here in round 3, this hole averaged 3.39 and came in as the 6th most difficult hole on the course.
Hole 2, a 542-foot, slightly uphill par 4. The tee shot's quite uphill. You're trying to get through all of the trees. Right around here is a great landing zone, and it sets you up for your second shot to the basket. You do have OB on the left and right. The parking lot is going to be on the left, and then the OB line on the right's actually a couple feet inside of that fence.
You can tell we're going to have a left to right wind. Certainly should aid Catrina if she's going to play a little bit of a flip up and see if it pushes to the right for her, and it's doing just that.
And it does. A fortunate tree kick back into the fairway. That could be a little inside. Also kicking off of the tree.
See if that building comes into play. And kind of an interesting fact about hole 2 is that this is the only hole where we'll see our FPO competitors in the throw pink event actually play from a longer tee pad and play a longer hole than the MPO does at the USDGC.
This is going to be tricky for Sarah. She plays her flip up. Keeps her in the middle. She might have a little bit too much distance to get to the basket. I'm not sure if she can get there on this shot.
Well, that won't be getting there after releasing that one too high. Catches a little bit of the trees, so she'll likely have a par look if she can get up and down. Scoggins is going to play this off to the right side, see if she can get a little forward skip without trying to bring that parking lot into play, and that's going to leave her just inside the circle.
I like that play. I see a lot of people going, you know, slow fairway or mid straight up the gut, but if you have the space to swing wide.
And hole 2 feels like a must-get birdie for our competitors. It does come in as the second easiest hole on the course. And Henna actually passed the building, so she doesn't have to worry about it being in play, and asking for that one to coil back. And just like hole 1, she'll have a just outside a circle or bullseye's edge putt.
Sarah wants to get this one close so she can walk away with the par, and she does. Ohn for birdie.
Yeah, Ohn not likely to miss 2 putts in a row.
Yeah, good correction from that last putt.
Kat's first putt was low and right. This one high and left. But either way, the result is the same, and she's off to back-to-back birdies. I think back to round 1, Catrina Allen opened the tournament with 3 consecutive birdies, getting them on 1, 2, and 3, and right now seems to be off and running as well. Hokom will settle for the par, and now we head over to hole 3.
Hole 3 has been merged with previous hole 3 and 4, so now it's a much longer hole at a par 5, 841 feet. We are flying over 2 hazards, so you see anything that's the taller grass lined by the rocks. The players are really just trying to push some sort of hyzer or hyzer flip so that they have a straight shot through this gap right here. There is a mando tree just to the right, and the basket nestles inside of these trees. It's going to be tricky with the way the wind has been on holes 1 and 2. They're facing a straight headwind on this tee shot. That flips up nicely, looking for a little bit of a swing.
Great control by Catrina. Her last 2 tee shots from here on hole 3 have been a little bit higher as they bend off to the left side. This one she kept lower, throwing into the wind, and a great adjustment. This one is continuing to stay hung out on that right side, and it's plenty of distance. Not quite as good of an angle, but plenty of distance for Henna.
Ohn starting to drift to the right. Ohn and Henna are in bounds, and that's great, but the ideal shot is to get as close to the hazard as you can on the left-hand side so that it gives you a good angle for your second shot. Ohn and Henna might have a tricky approach as they're pinched off on the right-hand side. Oh, and pushing that forehand really far. She sneaks through. We'll see if that'll give her a look for her next shot.
And it feels as if that's the most common collection point on this entire course. So many discs pulled over to that section. And
Oh.
yeah, that's a low release for Cat. Now at best playing for the par. Oh, correction, this is a par 5. So she still could get up and down, still get possibly a birdie.
Henna with the tricky standstill turnover. Oh, and then Catrina just pushes it too high. She doesn't seem to have missed the Mando yet, but she still has to work around it now, which is going to make her lie even harder.
And Ohn gets all the way deep of the pin with the forehand. This does slope down as you get toward the green. So you want to come in short just like that, have a little bit more of a skip forward. I like the angle that she put it on. She just needed more skip.
And Henna's looking for a high Anheuser. Such a difficult shot. Yeah, and doesn't quite get the angle. And I don't even think Catrina can get to the basket. Yep, just pitches up. She'll pitch up again. Beautiful.
Not really even much of an opportunity. You see the low branches, the low ceiling. Just trying to pitch out. Even that was difficult. And
Oh!
grabbing some chains, but not enough to get it to drop. Good bid.
Great putt. I believe this is Catrina for bogey.
Wow, and you saw that
Ooh.
wanting to almost pop back out at her. So certainly a little frustration you would expect out of Catrina, just from the sense that she threw a near perfect tee shot. So the fact that she wasn't able to take advantage is going to probably sting a little bit more as we take a look at scores after we see the first few holes and everyone's played them, see if anyone's making a move. Henna, of course, has the 2 under. Missy Gannon, trying to defend her title this weekend, has been struggling out of the gate here in round number 3. Katie Tate also making her move, getting 2 out of the first 3, and now they head to the corridors of 4.
One of the shortest holes on the course, 249 feet. There is a Mando about halfway up the fairway, so you have to hit that tight gap right off the bat. And ideally, you're trying to throw maybe a putter or a mid-range flip up straight all the way through, but, you know, that's easier said than done.
I got a lot of favorite trees. I'm not sure that would be the one, though.
Oh, that's Henna's favorite tree, too. Ohn pushing all the way through.
Yeah, and if there's anywhere you're going to, get off the fairway, you want it to be pushing left. You see how open she is out there, void of any trees. So if you're going to miss left. And that's what apparently we've seen there from Catrina Allen. Hokom has really struggled here on hole 4 this weekend. And today, not much better. And this is what I speak of on the left side. Even if you're short, you have all of this open space as opposed to what Sarah had on the right side. Just a much more difficult approach. So this is Sarah to try and save her bogey from circle 2, or her par, excuse me. And that will result ultimately in a bogey. I believe that was a double or triple for her on the previous round. So hole 4 not doing her any favors.
A solid putt by Ohn. I think she's deadly from anywhere inside circle 2.
Yeah, I mean,
because that was a step outside circle 1.
Yeah, it just doesn't really matter. And Henna misses from mid-range.
Catrina with the, I guess, the unorthodox birdie. I think her driver didn't go the intended route.
Either way, she's tapping in and quickly negating the bogey she picked up on 3, and she's going to be 2 under through 4 holes. Not a bad start as we head to 5.
Hole 5, 794-foot par 4. You have the natural OB on the left, which is the water, and then the OB on the right is the road. You're just trying to throw 2 shots to get yourself set up to one of 2 directions. You can go third shot over the water or third shot hyzering around this grouping of trees right here. And you're just trying to get yourself as close to the basket. The basket sits about 15 feet off of the water's edge, so very tricky, very touchy. We have seen some women pin it on their 4th shot or on their 3rd shot to tap in for a birdie, so it is available. And Ohn really swings wide with that anhyzer.
What a shot by Ohn. But as close as you can get to the water's edge was staying in bounds. She's about to get a hug from her caddy and husband, Justin.
This could be good. Yeah, holds that turn. Yeah, and the backhand is tricky as a righty because the whole fairway slopes slightly to the left. So your disc already wants to fade off to the left, and the slope's not helping.
Well placed shot.
Yeah, looking great. Ooh, really high from Henna. And these little trees just mess with your angles just a little bit.
Yeah, and you see even the one, as you're saying, just to the left of Kat, clearly not necessarily in her throwing space, but it's something to think about.
Yeah.
And it just can be one of those distractions.
Yeah, maybe instead of being able to throw something dead straight, like this one in front of Henna, it's, you can't throw straight up the fairway. You kind of have to throw one or the other.
Great navigation. She's going to the right of it. We'll see how far deep she can push. And that's kind of that awkward spacing of, whether you're going to go over the water or play it around to the safe side. This does come in as the single most difficult hole on the course, averaged 6.07.
Wow.
So more than a full stroke over par was the average when you're looking at over 40 competitors.
Ohn just trying to swing this one wide to keep it in bounds.
I should just go that one, that is.
Sarah looking like she's lining up to go over.
Well, this has just the right angle, more than enough distance, and Hokom over in 3. We'll see how aggressive she wants to be on the long birdie look, but likely a par coming from Hokom.
Ohn's gonna want to put this on. Oh.
See if she's
Hopefully
got
it fades.
distance.
Oh.
Oh, that is.
Oh, that was so tricky. Usually, you know, Ohn throws that flex forehand, and I knew that that was a really tricky angle from where she was, and she ended up going high.
Wow, and this is dangerous.
Oh, no.
And Ohn just fully committed to the idea of going over the water with the place that she's in. And that one does get over. That'll give her a look from circle's edge. But what a tough spot to be, just to see those one or two branches come into play. And you see that Cat, you know, has a similar distance, but a much better angle. And she's going to play it safe. And that, seeing what just happened to Ohn, maybe even, you know, scared her a little bit, thinking, okay, let's just get it over and be conservative here.
Right, yeah. Just get the height and the right angle.
And here's what I meant by the awkward positioning for Henna. Just not able to gain a lot of distance when you're going out and around to the right there. It's all pinched off, but she was almost so far that she couldn't really go over the water even if she had wanted to go with the turnover.
Yeah, and you want to get this shot as close as you can to the basket.
Very nervy
Very
standstill.
tricky, yeah.
But well executed.
Likely just laying that up. Yeah. Sarah's usually not a super aggressive player unless she has to be.
Cat will follow suit.
Oh, solid putt from Ohn.
And to think she made that to save the quadruple bogey 9.
Yeah, just that.
Henna in for par. And just like that, they'll head to the beach.
Hole 6, a par 3, 282 feet. You have the OB water on the left, and you have some OB on the right, but it doesn't really come into play until it starts pinching off by the basket. You can go too straight into the out of bounds, and you're really just trying to throw a wide hyzer, possibly get a little bit of a skip off of the grass onto the beach. You do see a lot of skips happening too far left, and then they end up going into the water. So you really just want to swing wide. Oh, and Catrina goes too wide.
And not too punishing. You saw her.
A little too wide.
A sigh of relief, though, knowing that she comes up short of the water's edge. So really just it's going to be in an awkward position that I guarantee she's never practiced from, but at least she has an opportunity to save par.
Sarah with a great backhand. Oh my goodness. She got some good distance off of that and it flipped up nicely. This is looking good.
See how Ohn can bounce back after the 9 on the previous hole, and if she can see the basket, you know she's giving it a run. So we'll see what she can do. That is a dangerous putt.
Oh, Catrina's going wide.
Yeah, I think she's going to try and still just skip it as if it were her drive.
Yeah, it works out.
And that is a great shot. So Cat with the opportunity to still save the par. She sits 2 down through the first 6, or through the first 5, I should say.
Oh my gosh. That is a great putt. Wow.
Baby.
Yeah, and to think she just took a quadruple bogey the hole before, you'd have no idea, and that's why we love watching Ohn Scoggins as a competitor. Everybody trying to avoid the writing in the sand. There's Catrina Allen for par.
No.
Oh.
Oh, and the worst possible scenario for Catrina. And so the rules on this hole say you can either putt from your previous lie or throw from your previous lie, or you can go to the drop zone. So that's why you saw her play from that spot as opposed to going over and playing it from what would have been probably a little bit closer. And it's a very unique rule, because if she didn't play from where she was, she would have had to instead go over and play from the 49-foot drop zone. So just, again, read your caddy book, read your rules, make sure you know what you're doing. And unfortunately, the double bogey brings Kat back to even for the round. She still has a 4-stroke advantage. No one's making a significant charge at this point. Kristin Tattar is 2 under, but no massive charge through 6. And now we head to the bamboo hole.
Bamboo hole, triple Mando, 284-foot par 3. I mean, it's very straightforward. You have to hit the triple Mando. If you miss the Mando, you have the option of 2 different drop zones just before the bamboo wall. And then there is also OB sidewalk on the right and the fence that you see on the left, deep of the basket.
Hokom doesn't love it. Oh, but a really
pretty
good
spot.
kick. Yeah. That is as fortunate
Lifting in a tail end.
as she could have gotten with the line that she had there. A great kick to the right. And
Wide hyzer. Looks like she just, trying to get it at the opening. Ohn looking to try to do the same thing. Hopefully that skips up. Oh, if that hasn't missed the Mando, that's going to be a really tricky spot to try to get an upshot to the basket.
we might see a little forehand roller or some kind of trick shot of sorts as Kat comes up short. And
We just need to get him left.
so Ohn ultimately having to go from the drop zone.
Oh my goodness, such a good run.
I think both Kristin Tattar and Madison Walker hit from that spot the day before. Not the best bid here by Hokom, but she is right there for the par. And very tricky shot with just the right amount of speed.
Oh, perfect.
You could not do it any better. You practice rollers, but not usually rollers that you only want going 50 feet.
Right.
So Henna will have the short look to save par. See the gallery out there in full force. They've come over from the vendor village and the edge village there and taking it all in, being able to watch the golf. Hole 7 is really the place to be. See the action then on 8 as well. And here we're on the tee.
Hole 8, a par 5, 697 feet. The tree line on the left is out of bounds, and the right side, where you see the rocks, play as a hazard until you reach the ballpark, which is out of bounds. Really just trying to get the tee shot inbounds, keep it safe, and then we're going to start going into this tunnel for your second shot. Really tricky with the sloping that goes right to left, as well as that OB that continues on the left. And just trying to get yourself as far as you can through the tunnel, possibly be able to see the basket for a maybe eagle bid.
Just lacing it down the fairway, maneuvering around all of the trees. Or maybe she doesn't even see the trees at that point. I think she's just puts it on the line, and well executed shot. Here's Henna. Expect to see a very different approach from her.
Oh, and that's way too low. Fortunately, stays in bounds.
Yeah, if that catches just the wrong edge, easily could take a skip or two and then find herself out of bounds, tacking on. So still in bounds. Here's Cat.
Yeah, going the wide hyzer, just getting the height and the angle right.
Don't complain about that. Her and Hokom are neighbors.
Great shot by Ohn.
And I was just thinking that if there's anyone that's out of position that could still make the most of it, it's Henna. Just knowing the low line drive that she has and so much power. Unfortunately, though, connects with the first tree in front of her, and it looks almost as if she had another little slip there. And I'm starting to wonder if there's maybe something with her shoes and the terrain out here that isn't connecting as well as other places.
Ohn with the high flex shot.
And a favorable roll if it checks up and stays on the wood chips. That should be just fine.
That needs to get down.
I believe it was Catrina. I feel like that was literally a copy and paste from yesterday as it was tracking over to that left side and then checks up.
Looking for a flip, and she gets it. Oh, and a nice trickle down that hill. It kind of puts you out of position when you get stuck behind those trees on the far right side of the fairway. You don't really have a look to get to the basket from there. Oh, Catrina going deep.
She'll have a circle 2 look. And rarely do you see any kind of forehand, or especially a forehand roller, out of Henna. And that one gets stopped by the tree. So hole 8 not doing her any favors.
Oh, looks great. It sits down. Oh my goodness.
Still pretty much unobstructed, so shouldn't be too bad for Ohn.
Oh, great touch shot by Henna. Off the knee, on a slope. That was great. I'm not sure that she really has a look to put it in the basket.
You called it, just too much between her and the pin. Some pesky branches in front of her leg, and easily a distraction for her, as you see then her reach out, thinking maybe the straddle would have been a little more comfortable. Here's Henna, and gets that one to drop in, and she's going to walk away with the bogey. Felt like she had a lot of work to do just to pick up the bogey here on hole 8. Hokom, on the other hand, 2 strokes better with the birdie. Cat will card the par, and Ohn also will follow suit with a par. We head to our last hole of the front 9.
A par 4 at 362 feet. There are the 3 trees immediately off the tee that you have to pick a gap between. We're kind of going up the fairway on the safe side. You see the rocks do play the out of bounds inside the rock line. You will see some players playing the wide hyzer to the right where the fairway is safe. And then there's also the out of bounds surrounding the basket, sort of like a peninsula. You can see the OB is just short of the basket, maybe 25 feet, and then also OB behind the basket. I'm going to say less than 10 feet. So you might see some aggressive plays going straight at the basket, and then again the layup shots off to the right-hand side.
And that's diving way too hard and too quickly for Hokom, who we saw just barely get over the edge yesterday. So she'll move to the drop zone, but still have a look for birdie, technically. Very favorable drop zone. Cat. Big flax.
Has enough stability.
Oh, and it looks like it's going to be close. We'll have to get an official call on that in a moment, but Cat very close, and Ohn not messing with it. She's just trying to lay this up, but this is leaking.
Sit down.
Phew. Hole 9 plays as the easiest hole on the course.
Yeah, we've seen some eagles had on this hole. Henna pulls it a bit wide.
Yeah, that's not the position she was going for. Of course, she's got the distance, but that was well off the mark. So Henna still can get up and down, and will have a birdie look if she can do so.
Oh, and a beautiful approach by Ohn, right by the basket.
So we see that she's off to the right-hand side, pin high.
Pretty routine for Henna.
Yeah, that's an easy, should be an easy up and down, but she left a little work on it. Now Sarah, who had gone out of bounds, moves over here to the drop zone. We saw Pierce hit yesterday, and Sarah's not messing with it. She's going to pitch it underneath and be content with the par, and that's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, with the elevated pin and the OB just behind it, if you miss that putt, you could sail.
Yeah, or you could hit one of the branches early and then still have a difficult putt to save the par. So it feels as if they're really just conceding and saying, yep, I'll just tap in.
I mean, it's still a par, so.
Exactly. As Cat is in for what will be her par. She's going to finish out the front 9 at even. Ohn Scoggins will tap in for her birdie. And we'll take a quick look at the front 9 action. And really just jumping off the page the most there is Kristin Tattar. She's shooting 4 under in the front 9. That's picking up 4 on Cat and 5 on Ohn Scoggins. So through 9, looks pretty interesting. We're going to let you guys go, but we invite you to return for the back 9 of round number 3. For Christine Jennings, I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, and we'll see you on the back 9.